Those are really good.
Whoa. Hi, I'm Katherine Del Rio, and I'm going to teach you how to make my amazing quarantine clam chowder. So this is a really simple pared down version that should be easy if you can't get to the grocery store. All of these are household staples, so they should be really easy to get in times like these. Now, if you can't find or if you don't eat one of these ingredients, it's totally fine. This recipe is super forgiving, so you can get really creative with it. Now, this dish does have clams and bacon in it, so there is meat, but if you're a vegetarian, it's super easy to change up. Just leave those out. Throw in some extra veggies if you want. The world is your oyster. So this is about 6 slices of bacon cut up with kitchen shears. Time to take it out with a slotted spoon and paper towel it and reserve it. For the very end, we're gonna add the bacon in just before serving. So now it's time to do what we came here to do, the chowder. It's a classic veggie mix. It's pretty much the starter of every soups. Onions, celery, carrots. It's gonna be about a cup of each. But this is really up to you, it's not a big deal. And it tastes really good, rendered in bacon fat. Now while those are sauteing, drain your clam babies into a bowl and save that clam juice, okay? We'll be using this juice next. Hey, come back. So now it's time for our trusty clam juice. What we want to do is just cover all these veggies in the clam juice so it can cook in it and get nice and tender and soft. And then we're going to cover the rest of our veggies with chicken broth until all our veggies are covered in liquid. All of our veggies are going to cook up in this, and it's going to give it the real clammy flavor of a clam chowder versus just a normal soup or chowder or stew. And once your veggies are boiling, you're going to toss in just 1 ear of fresh cut corn. You can really use whatever type of corn. You can use canned, you can use frozen. So now we're going to make a roux, which is basically the basis for any cream-based substance. So pretty much any creamy soup or creamy sauces requires a roux, which is equal parts fat and flour. As the butter melts down, we want to very slowly add our flour. So we're going to add half a cup a little bit at a time. See how this is already thickening up the butter, making it more like a sauce. And slowly we're going to add a little bit more flour. And it's very important to cook the flour down so you don't get that floury taste that so many roux have. Now the key to a good roux is to watch it carefully and whisk it almost constantly. A little at a time, and this is pretty much exactly what you want. And then we're going to add our half and half to make it creamy. See how it's starting to combine and make one entire sauce? We want to do this before we add any more. See, look at this already. See how much it's taking on? A little more half and half. We had a soup. Okay, so once the veggies are fork tender, which, by the way, you can tell by the potatoes. Hot. And if the potatoes are done, then you know everything else is done. And now it's time to add our nice little roux to our nice little chowder. Yes, roux. And then stir, incorporate it in. And then, depending on your vibe, how thick you like it, how thin you like it, how creamy you like it, I like to add a little bit more cream. Now we are going to add our dry thyme, our fresh chopped rosemary, and a good amount of Old Bay seasoning, some red pepper flakes. And remember to constantly taste throughout. I've been resalting and repeppering just to my specific tastes. We need to add our red wine vinegar. This is a secret ingredient and it gives it kind of the acidic kick that it needs with something so heavy and creamy. Time to do the deed. These need to go in just before serving. Seafood continues to cook after it's hot, and these things get rubbery and inedible if they're overcooked. Our bacon boys. A little bit of parsley for some freshness and some green. Just a little side note, this makes a lot of leftovers and freezes really well for a later meal. Now I steamed up some fresh clams and some white wine, so I'm going to top mine with that to make it a little fancy, make it a little extra. Really adds a beautiful touch. I recommend topping it with something, some greenery, some fresh cut parsley, some chives, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits would be really good. Whatever your little heart desires. I'm serving mine with some crusty French bread and a side salad.